Okay, so this is part 2. Thanks for coming back. Now, what happens is, underneath those, I've got the reels on there now because I'm going to demonstrate it playing, but you get this lovely plate here, aluminium plate, and there's a number of numbers on there, so you can use that as a guide, but it does actually have a counter at the front. So if we just have a look, nice cover, Perspex cover, again, that's in quite good condition. And obviously that stays down, it clips down. Now on the front here, if I just turn the Uher around, here we go, see that, there we go, you can see it in camera. Right, you've got the volume control here. The interesting thing is that you've got the volume, if you pull the volume knob out, that switches to the external speaker, which I'll demonstrate. You've got a tone control here, which if you pull forward, actually illuminates the VU meter, or the battery control meter. You've also got a counter here, which runs on a small belt, again, which you can change. You need to take the battery box out to do that. You've got a recording level, which I haven't used yet, and then you've got the sequence. You've either got it on tape recorder, microphone, which is normally comes with a condenser type microphone, which I haven't got, but I'm in the process of probably sourcing one, or you can use it from a record player or input source, so it could be a cassette or a record deck. I mean, some people have actually used these to put on their MP3 because it uses the DIN type sockets. So, and then you've got this selector here, and you've actually got 7.5, 3 3/4, 1, and 5 and 16 IPSs. So it will actually go down quite slowly. That's the slowest speed. And then again, it's like a gear system you've got on here. And you could probably hear her. If you leave it in the neutral position, it switches everything off. The microphone socket here, of course, will be used, and you have a screw system. So in other words, so the microphone is a DIN socket, so it doesn't come out. You've actually got some way of securing that. But also, externally on the side, you've got the same thing happening here. So you've got a record phono in there, speaker external, and then I assume that would be for the other input that I mentioned earlier, which would be a record player, or possibly what does it say here, another external microphone, probably in that one there. You've got, yes, radio, phono, speaker external, or mic would go in that one. Someone had an external socket for power. This one doesn't have that facility. So, and then obviously once that's done, you can decide on whether you want to use external speaker. So if I plug in the external speaker, and I'm going to play this afternoon an interview that I'd made back in 1971, when a friend of mine, Dave Coles, we were at school together. He actually was talking to me about his guitar playing. He was a great Jimi Hendrix fan. And so I actually found this recording, and I thought it would demonstrate. In fact, I haven't had contact with Dave for quite a few years, so if he's out there, hi Dave, and it'd be lovely to catch up with you sometime. So, the other thing, just to remind you, if you want to go on the internet, I'll put this on the descriptor, but here is the, where are we? Here we are. Here's the website, and the chap's name is Tim Smith, and if you want to go on the website, it's the one at the bottom there. So, and or you can, and there's an email address there. If you've got one of these tape recorders, then you'll know all about it. But it is a really quite nice machine. So let's have a play. I'll leave it on the. What I'll do first of all, put it on the speaker that's inside the small elliptical speaker, and let's see what that sounds like. Here we go. Oops. Let's just engage speed, shall we, Richard? Here we go. Outside speaker. It's a really good sound, this.
Thank you very much, Dave. That's very nice. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
So I'd like to ask you a few questions,
Sure.
seriously, of course. What do you think of guitar music in general today?
I think it's very easy to play once you get the knack. It's very good.
Have you got any favourite guitarists?
Yes, Malcolm Page, Jimi Hendrix, Emerson, Lake and Palmer.
Yes, it sounds interesting. Which one do which is the most influence your music?
Jimi Hendrix.
Jimi Hendrix, why is this?
Well, his music was mostly blues, progressive and rock and roll. That's the type of music that I like.
I see. I believe you even run a group on your own, is that true?
Well, I don't run the group. We're all in it together, 5 of us.
I see, and where do you play? Where do you play?
Well, we practice in York Barracks in the sergeant's mess or underneath the cookhouse. And when we go on jobs, we just go all over the country.
I see. When did Jimi Hendrix actually die? I believe it was 1970, wasn't it?
Yes, 18th of September.
18th of September, yes. And I believe you must be a great collector of his records then.
Yes, I've got practically every one.
Practically every one. And how many is that?
26 LPs so far.
26 LPs, gosh. So it must be worth their weight in gold.
To me they are,
Yes, yes. That's very nice talking to you, Dave. Thank you very much. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Would you like to play us out?
Okay.
Well, there you can just demonstrate my previous interviewing skills when I was about, I suppose, I must have been about the age of 15 or 16 when I made that recording, and I was living actually with my family in Germany, or West Germany as it was called then, at a place called Munster. And I know Dr. Cassette, one of my YouTube friends, lives very near there, and so he probably knows where York Barracks is, if it's still there, and all the area. But I just thought I'd play you that. And you can hear that the quality of sound from this machine is extremely good, and very pleased with that. So, and I'm going to be doing some more work just to make sure that everything is cleaned up nicely. But I just thought I'd demonstrate that to you this afternoon. But just to play out, I thought I'd play one of the other bits on this tape. But before then, I thought I'd quickly mention to you that I was very lucky on eBay to get a couple of cassettes. And so the cassettes I got were this one here. And everyone knows I'm a great El Bowley fan, and this is really a very nice cassette. It's got some of his famous tunes on there, Goodnight Sweetheart and all the other ones that we're all very familiar with. But doubling that, I managed to get hold of this lady, and Anne Shelton. Now Anne Shelton was also around at the same time as Dame Vera Lynn, who some of you may have seen the BBC report. She's releasing another CD of her work, and they've found 2 songs that she and Anne had actually produced during the war years, which was done on acetate as a master 78, but never released. And they're going to be releasing those on CD, I think about the 28th of the month. That's the 28th of May. And so if you're a Vera Lynn fan, then you'll know. And of course, this weekend has been the 65th anniversary of VE Day, Victory in Europe Day, and there have been several celebrations in London, in Whitehall, and I think Prince Charles was there laying a wreath, and also the 3 politicians, because we've had our general election in this country, and of course we all know we're heading into a hung parliament. But anyway, that's for tomorrow. But this Anne Shelton cassette was actually unopened, so I was literally the first person to play this. Anne died in 1994, and this cassette came out in 1996. So it's fairly modern compared with CDs. They were obviously around since the 80s, so there was still obviously CDs and cassettes were running alongside each other at that time as a format for playing music. But anyway, I thought I'd mention those to you as just a little end for today's second video. But anyway, thank you very much for watching, and see you all soon.